My name is William Garces, and I'm an attorney. I've been practicing law for 32 years, since 1988. And what brought me here was my dad died of cancer at the age of 74 after working all his life. And then what happened was that, to build my practice, we're originally from Cuba, and we came here with nothing, and I wanted to build something, to make my parents proud and to help my community. And what happened was that I would work, and I worked 6 days a week for 32 years, 6 days a week. And one day I'm sitting on a Saturday in my office, and I get a call from my friend who was helping my brother move, and he said, "Your brother's having chest pains. We're going to take him to the hospital." And I thought, my brother Rick? Can't be. My brother's like, a healthy kid. He's okay. This is ridiculous. And I kept working. Then I get a frantic call from my mother. She says, "Go to the hospital. Your brother's very bad." I go to the hospital, and I watch my brother die of a heart attack. And that's when I analyzed my whole life. I looked at what was happening. And I realized I was 5'10". I weighed 265 pounds. When I made a fist, I couldn't see my knuckles on my hand. And what I did was I went and had a nuclear CT scan of my heart. And I found that I had 75% blockage throughout my entire heart. And I said, I got to change my life. And then I read a book written by Joel Fuhrman, Dr. Joel Fuhrman. And that book seemed to indicate that I could make a change, because I saw various doctors, and what they wanted to do, they wanted to put stents in my heart, and they wanted to put me on statin drugs, and I would be on medication the rest of my life, and I didn't want to live like that. And I read the book, and it made sense to me, and I said, I'm going to take a chance. And I've always been I'm a risk taker. I mean, today I have 13 law offices. We have 150 employees. I employ 30 attorneys, and I'm very proud of it. But I said, I've worked all my life. I'm not going to give it all up now, and I want a good quality of life. And this seemed like the way to do it. And I started my venture, and then I ran into Ethos Farm and Dr. Ron Weiss. And this is the best thing that ever happened to me. It's like a little paradise. On Friday, my wife comes here, and we do things together, her and I. And on Friday, she comes here and she buys all the organic food right from his farm. It's amazing. We buy all the food, we prepare it, and I love it. And since I joined here, with Dr. Ron Weiss, and I started to talk to the doctor, what they do is they'll test you right at the beginning, and they'd say, this is where you are. And then we're going to put you on a 30-day detox. And the 30-day detox was amazing. It was not easy. But all of a sudden, I started seeing the weight dropping off my body. It was like incredible, like literally weight. The hardest thing for me has been I had to give away 30 suits. I had 30 suits that I couldn't fit in anymore. I started looking ridiculous. But it's not just the weight. It's that I feel more active. I feel more alive. I enjoy life more. I have more energy. It's just fantastic. I've really, when you do something in your life and you said, man, I really made the right choice, that's what I found here. I've made the right choice. I'm so happy with my selection. And I think the quality of my life is going to be so much better. And I'm going to be able to enjoy the fruits of my labor. And after 32 years of sacrifice, I'm going to be able to, I think, really enjoy, God willing. I'm going to be able to enjoy what I've worked so hard for. And I have nobody to thank but Dr. Weiss and his staff. They've been great. At the beginning, the transition was a little bit, different, because there were foods that I was getting used to, and there was, that kind of thing. But after a while, I started to really you don't realize, but your taste buds are being kidnapped. There's like an addiction. Now I do this thing, it's called no SOS, no salt, no oil, no sugar. And, I try to make sure that that we're as pure as we can with the food that we're eating. And that's all organic here at the farm. And it's been just enjoyable. And my wife, she's very creative with the dishes. I mean, she's really creative. So the dishes are scrumptious. I mean, I'll tell you something. I wouldn't trade my breakfast for anybody's breakfast. I wouldn't trade my lunch for anybody's lunch. And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't trade my dinners for anybody. I am totally happy with what I'm eating every single day. And you know something else? Food doesn't have the same, like it doesn't rule me. I don't get cravings anymore. Like I used to get cravings. I had to get something to eat. I had to. Now I don't feel that, you know? I'm much more under control, you know, and I really like that.
That foods can have an amazing preventative effect. And
being that I am Cuban and I ate a lot of Cuban food, a lot of the food is fried food. You know, croquetas, I mean, there's so many, there's a lot of fried food and a lot of meat. You know, it's pork, chicken, and so that was my natural thing. And then also my profession, I entertain clients and I entertain a lot of other professional doctors and other lawyers. So I'm out, you know, needing to go to restaurants and meeting them at different, you know, places. And that's been difficult. And I also work long hours. So what happens is that sometimes I'll come home at typically 7:30 at night, and then that's when I start to eat, and that's not a good thing to do. And that's been something that's been difficult. But now my wife, she makes the most scrumptious breakfasts you can imagine. I'm like the luckiest guy in the morning. When I wake up, I have an incredible breakfast. We pack a lunch, and I take my lunch with me to work every day. And the dinners, I try to eat as light as I can at dinner time, and I try to eat as early as I can when I get home. So, you know, that's the goal. You don't want to go to sleep late at night with a big stomach full of food. So I try to limit when I'm eating and that kind of thing. I'm much more mindful of that. At first, inviting clients and inviting other doctors to whole food plant-based dinners or, you know, places that don't serve meats, at first was difficult. But now I love leading by example. I love them seeing, hey, I'm 62 years old and I feel great. And when they look at me and they say, man, this guy's 62 and he's full of energy, I think that, you know, it kind of opens up eyes. And I always felt my father, he led by example, and I like leading by example. You know, I don't like to talk. I like to just show people, and then people say, wow, look at that, you know, you can make a difference. When we came to the farm here, to Ethos Farm with Dr. Weiss, I came with my wife, and we took it on as a personal challenge, both of us. And you know, it's been great. It's actually brought us together. And not only that, I got the sexiest wife right now. You know, she looks great. And it's enjoyable. It's something we do together. And we don't look at the world the same anymore. Like, we look at things and I just don't see them the same. You know, now I can appreciate, you know, the simple, kind of a simple life, you know, like you eat proper, you eat from the earth. It just feels right, you know. It's incredible. I'm so happy, I can't tell you. It was incredible putting on my first new suit. It was incredible. The belts. You know how many belts? I had so many notches in my belt that it was like extraordinary. In fact, I used to dress up as Santa. This was the first year that I didn't dress up as Santa anymore because you know, it's like I'd have to put so many pillows around me. It would have been funny. But I'll tell you, I am totally ho, ho, ho. I'm thrilled, I'm telling you. Can't be any happier.